So it is going to be Niagara University in the blue, St. Peter's in the red. As we're going to see what kind of compositions these guys want to bring out. Of course, it's almost taboo, sacrilege, if you will, to talk about teams and what their compositions are coming before they actually walk out of the spawn room. But I'm already seeing some differences here.
Yeah, Reaper's super good position. Our producer just wanting to see what he can do right here, see if he can make it all the way through. Oh, that was off-center, Juke, you lose. Niagara University, St. Peter's. The Reaper makes a whole lot of sense. The Sombra is the obvious counter to that, but the tank lineup could not be more different.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if you're looking at St. Peter's University's comp, especially Ricardo is going to have to try and basically go for potential flanks and make make use of the space his tank line is going to actually buy for him. You can see juicering with the early bubble before they set up and try to go for a dive.
Yeah, this is dive heavy over here, St. Peter's, especially with that Zenyatta, get a lot of damage in alternate ways. Up front, we got a McCree with a new health pool as well. Velvet Demise falling first on this, actually, so Niagara has been down a huge source of damage, or huge source of healing, and now big main tank down. Niagara took it earlier, but I don't think that is to last.
Yeah, it's looking real good for St. Peter's overall. They lose first cap, but they have control of the point here. Nacho's having a real good time, as you can see the man on your screen popping off a little bit. But overall, St. Peter's University, although not necessarily playing the tank line like you would expect from dive tanks like in the Winston and Diva, they were just taking up the time of Niagara University while Ricardo got off so much damage from a side flank. So as long as they keep doing that and keep control of the space here, Ricardo's going to be able to do whatever he pleases.
Stun against Apex, not a great way to start this one now. Now trying to make it 12 o'clock. That corner is not going to do him any favors. Large part just used for a little bit of zoning, it seems, as that's now Nachos, who does fall. Bread gets incredibly aggressive there, finds a little bit of value, but the res now for Nachos puts St. Peter's back to a full 6. Dive in, Juice Ring might just be trying to provide a little bit of split of attention here, but all through the thick of things, Apex turns and Apex falls. The damage boosted Reaper is a nasty one indeed, as Ricardo taking out not one, not two, but three. Cheese is the only Niagara University player left on this field.
Yeah, and you can see now the problem with Niagara University not running the McCree themselves. There's no flashbang, so no concern for Ricardo. He can literally just walk into the backline, and the only CC he's really got to worry about is that Reinhardt charge. Beyond that, he's free as a bird to do all the damage he pleases into Niagara University's front line. And now you can see Niagara University are coming up on some pretty big ultimates. As soon as that Graviton Surge is ready to go, you got to imagine that's when they make their move.
Yeah, we saw Bread there just kind of holding the hand. Oh, what a burst! Sellout Squad looking like a DPS in and of himself. Rez getting in through the thick of things. Does have that self-destruct. Not sure if that's going to be useful through a bubble. And again, Ricardo actually getting taken out by Bread, but there was some Zenyatta damage in there. Absolutely. Sellout Squad just been popping off here, and that's going to lead to St. Peter's holding on to this one.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they got a lot of ults out of St. Peter's, but time is running out. I don't think anyone from Niagara is going to be able to contest. You see Cheese make the Genji swap, but it's not too late. It looks like we do get the last second contest, but Bread's already dead.
Yep, both support ultimates on board for St. Peter's, with the main support done from Niagara University. It means this should be a very quick team fight. Just everybody kind of plays their roles, gets it done. Primal Rage there at the end here for Juice Ring. There's nobody going to be around to give him that 1,000 damage. This one going decently handily towards St. Peter's. It looked like they just kept it cool, and when they needed to, got it done. Held on to ults and all.
Yeah, that's right. They were super efficient with how they used them as well, with the exception of the high noon, as Ricardo's going to get that one up, or Nachos, excuse me. He's going to get that one up pretty often, but overall, St. Peter's making good use of these dive tanks to the point where they're the only ones who actually sit on the point. You have Sellout Squad on an angle, throwing those fat right clicks, and of course you have Nachos and Ricardo going for different angles as well. There's so many points of pressure on Niagara University that Reinhardt shield didn't actually mean what it normally would. So this time around, they're going for a bit of a switch up. We're seeing Apex play the Sigma. I'm really curious to see if DC 224 actually stays on this Diva, and it's looking like that is going to be the play here. So an interesting tank line for sure. It's going to serve a similar purpose to the Reinhardt. A Sigma is also extremely immobile, but I'm curious to see how they play around this one. Cheese is still the one to look out for here, especially against Nachos, but you can't get solo killed like that.
No, you can't. So what? McCree gets himself an extra 25
Oh my
healing, and
god.
he is just absolutely neglected here in game number 2, right? Like, now I thought Nacho was doing a very, very fine job on the McCree, and now Cheese goes on over to it. Yeah, starts out with the Ash. There's the McCree.
Yeah, and overall, it's just an easy first fight win here for St. Peter's. Nachos making use of this open space and the confidence he's gained from that last round. Because you can see Cheese not having the best performance at the moment has swapped it over to McCree. I like this because now you can threaten Ricardo with that flashbang a little bit. And it's going to make it harder for him to just step into the back line all willy-nilly. But I still want to see Niagara University try and make some aggressive plays. DC, I want to see him harass Nachos because Echo shouldn't be free-firing like that.
This is Cheese just trying to kind of play the position here where they're at. There's so much damage coming through there. It's just going to be super hard for any sort of shield, much less a Sigma shield to block them off things coming through there. Yeah, so Sigma shield comes up, Sigma shield goes down within seconds. And now, actually, we have Nachos getting it going here already early. Coalescence as well as Gravitic Flux happening on the side. That is Nachos who did decide to copy. Maybe pick 75% of his. We'll see his here soon. Cheese able to get out of the line of fire on this one. Back towards damage, but oh my, even the efforts of an Arista Lee Moira, there was just way too much jamming coming across him. And this team fight's still not over with, really. St. Peter's looks like they've won it. Now pulling ultimate again. Juice Ring has now gotten 2 primal rages that they just didn't. I mean, last turn it was, or last game it was very, very end, right?
That's right. So this time around, though, I think he could have held on to that one. The fight was more than clearly won in St. Peter's University, and now that's one less crucial ultimate not available here. Look at Niagara University. They're starting to get a little bit onto the better end of these fights, and with the ultimates they have ready to go, now they have their own Gravitic Flux. You see the Death Blossom High, or the Deadeye, excuse me. And there's a lot of tools to work with here, but it's last fight territory. It's now or never.
Yeah, the rest of Niagara is close, but only Apex, Bread and Cheese has it so far. Here goes the Death Blossom, Gravitic Flux while things are going on, pulling the Zenyatta out of the thick of things for right now, but that's going to be a different Death Blossom down bottom that finds all the results in the world. Nacho's actually copying that Reaper as well, and St. Peter's University going to put a bow on top of this one.
And what's better than one Death Blossom? St. Peter's University say 2, as they're also going to very handedly win the first map of the set 2-0. Looking absolutely dominating right now. And more than anything else, as much as Ricardo gets to play the game, of course, we saw a lot of work coming out from Nachos as well. Juicering and Rez are the ones I want to highlight here. They played their roles so extremely well. Rez on this Diva, harassing the hit scan members of Niagara University, not actually letting them do anything, was really impressive.
Yeah, so we see the play of the game there, tripled by that Reaper. Actually, his Apex kind of gets on out of dodge, so that one set that one up. Big triple, but 100 to 15, I believe, for the game number 1, and then 100 to 0 for game number 2. We'll be looking at Blizzard World next, a handedly different map.
Yeah, a little bit. I think we're still going to run into the same issues because it's not really by map type. At the end of the day, what I'm seeing St. Peter's do a lot more than Niagara is controlling space. And that's the nice thing about those dive tanks. They're super mobile. They're able to control space with their very presence, the threat they can offer onto the enemy backline. Niagara don't seem to have an answer. And not only that, they're not really punishing either. So St. Peter's are at this point where they can actually overextend a little bit, do a little more than they should, because if Niagara are going to let them do it, keep it going. So Niagara at this point either might want to consider mirroring and try to make space of their own with dive tanks and threaten St. Peter's backline, or at the very least they need to start punishing. Because I don't hate the Reinhardt in these scenarios, but you need to charge a little bit more. I know people say unbind the shift key sometimes with really aggressive Reinhardts, but this is the opposite. I need you to press shift sometimes.
There you go. Yeah, charge right in there. Try and take a pick. You'll have your
Please.
teammates on after you. Yeah. As far as dive tanks, man, movement abilities will give you so much value in these. Running the Zarya Reinhardt, there's a classic combination there, a lot of synergy, but I just
Mhm.
think it can easily kind of saw this be trounced by some really good coordination from your dive
Mhm.
tanks. But
Sure.
anything else we should look for as we're pushing on in here to Blizzard World?
I mean, mostly it is going to be compositionally. And yeah, you do have a good point, Tug. So I think overall, what's going to benefit Niagara greatly is that tank line switch up. Zarya Ryan, I guess not as good as it used to be, especially me being a bit of a boomer. It's been a outside, if we're not counting goats, because that was a little different. I think it's been a long time since just that comp. or that tank line was
Mm.
just exceptional and played all the time. So maybe, yeah, we do need a bit of a switch up. Maybe the Winston Diva, maybe Sigma. We did see a little bit, but I don't think Sigma Diva is the wave necessarily.
Well, they kind of use the Sigma in a way that Reinhardt would have been best, right? They got bottled up
Yeah,
by this chokehold there on Boost on Nap 2, come through and then try. I mean, even through the Sigma's Eat and Sigma's Shield, there was not a whole lot that they could do through there because so much damage was coming across, right? Well,
yeah,
the changes for his shield all the way down to where it was are appropriate, but just those aren't Sigma responsibilities. Those are times to be running the Reinhardt. I feel like you
yeah.
said, really, there was just issues of synergy coming kind of up until that for Niagara, and if they'd chosen then to run a Reinhardt, it would have been a different story. They would have gotten a point. Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see what's going on in Blizzard World.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely not over yet by any means. Control has always been considered a bit of a different beast compared to other map types in Overwatch. So as we go over to Blizzard World, more of a hybrid, there is going to be a more of a chance, more opportunities for defense specifically, and even on offense trying to take sites here for the likes of Niagara. So I wouldn't count them out just yet.
Well, absolutely not. Now, the Ash here might be huge, especially for first point. On defense, that high ground right there provides you a lot. They've ran a Mercy already. Both squads have for at least a little while. And
True.
image boosting on top of that can be absolutely massive for your Ash headshots. That sets up, of course, squishies to fall left and right. Now with Widowmaker at 175, might really be able to counter out something like that either. Blizzard World, little capture a point, little move a payload.
Yeah, that's right. And now that you mentioned it to the Mercy play, I especially would want to see if let's talk about St. Peter's a little bit. I want to see them play that Echo again. I really liked what we saw from, I believe it was Nachos who ran it the first time around. And I saw a really good performance, especially once we move over to the streets phase here. I think he could do a lot of work with that. But one thing I'm really interested in, Niagara, they have Fred Beard on the Junkrat here. And since he is all the way at 8 point, I'm pretty confident that's what Niagara is sticking with here.
Yep, and I had just now realized I have looked at this player's name, the Junkrat Niagara, several different times through the weeks now. I wrote it down as Bread again, just like bread twice.
I said
Oh,
Bread
well.
today, actually, but it is
Yep.
Bread Beard, it looks like.
He probably knows what he's doing, kind of thing there. So yes, actually Niagara defense called it. Love to see it. Risley on her Mercy, that is cheesed over on the Ash. A lot of damage will be coming out from
True.
Bread Beard. And the Diva will be eating it all up. Apex will be blocking away as much damage as possible on the Reinhardt. Everybody getting group heals from the Moira. Not against it at all.
And juicing on this Zarya is going to be very interesting. A lot of potential for to get that high energy and put out that high damage as well. You can already see the energy starting to build up here, but he's going to have to build it up efficiently. And as all the damage coming through from Niagara, the use of the protective barrier is super important. Ricardo is already taken down, though.
Res there. That's going to mean Min does not have that res for the next, 35 seconds or so. She's falling through the thick of things. That's going to be their big source of damage. And now Res getting those Ryan responsibilities and swinging away. And that's going to be Apex who falls. St. Peter's rolling through here. Niagara had a great start. Not so much about the finish.
Yeah, unfortunately, the loss of Aristalia spelt the end for Niagara's 8-point defense. St. Peter's still, once again, firmly in control here. You can see Juicering is getting real juiced up as well on the Zarya. So now as we move over to the streets phase, Niagara University aren't going to change things up. Redbeard getting closer and closer to that Riptire as part of that motivation, I am sure. And it would actually be one well-placed Riptire could give Niagara control back onto the site here. They could mount a defense here on the streets.
I like what Redbeard is doing up top here as well, putting out traps and laying down damage, make sure. Oh man, Nachos with the min damage boost. Taking out one, that's going to eat up the res again. This is exactly what St. Peter's did last time. See how it fares for them this time. Res trying to rotate around here, and it looks like Niagara trying to come back towards the middle of this payload path. And again, Apex just gets way too aggressive with here. It can't be held out. And yeah, and DC isn't over there with the defense matrix. Yeah.
And unfortunately, the spoken of Riptire doesn't find any value at all as Ricardo swapped over to the Hanzo. Has just been doing so much work finding a lot of key shots here. So much so he already has the Dragon Strike ready to go. And all it's going to take is one more fight for St. Peter's to win out here on the streets phase. Have an excellent time back. Niagara, they have ults to use, especially that Earth Shatter coming up. I need to see him use it. Oh my
nice
God.
shot there by Ricardo to start this one out. The Shatter comes down as soon as the Nano's out. Apex getting taken out by that one. That's going to be a worthwhile charge in all day long. Contest still coming through. Now the Valkyrie up top. Not going to matter. St. Peter's taking this point. Getting up their time bank to 2.5 minutes almost, Beat.
And the unfortunate part of it is Niagara University, they committed a lot to that fight, Tug. And unfortunately, it didn't even get them a single inch or buy them another second. St. Peter's, 5 minutes, 10 seconds going into the final point here. This is where you lose a lot of time, but still, Niagara have a lot of work to do if they want to whittle that time bank all the way down here.
They've kind of played this split defense as well, and with the Diva going down first several different times, this might be different though. It's Bob out, but just absolutely sworn by the Reinhardt and that opposing counterpart, that Ashe. Over here, looks like Rez is going to be really close on that shield. Not a whole lot left on that, but Shatter will be up soon. Investing ults might not be the movement here. Yeah, this is just going to be kind of some stall out on point. Niagara University needs to come back.
Hey, you can see the positioning is a bit of a problem here. You noticed on the Juicering's POV that he was single-handedly soloing those supports and keeping them off the front line, and frankly, the rest of Niagara University. And because of these positioning errors, unfortunately, Aristelia might lose her life here. Instead, it is going to be Cheese. Nope, it's going to be both. And overall, this self-destruct's going to have to go big, Tug.
So Cheese tries to come in, pull the rescue mission. Doesn't happen there towards the end. They end up losing a support and a big source of damage. Now the switches from Niagara. Blessed on over to the Soldier 76, trying to get out of here quickly.
Oh, Redbeard immediately gets obliterated here, and unfortunately, Niagara not able to shave much time off the clock here. We're in the closing seconds of this round, and DC is the only one who can contest, but no one else was actually able to get on. So there you have it.
Wow, they end this one as well with Nano Boost and Graviton Surge for St. Peter's. Yeah, pretty handed win again. Start with 4 minutes, end with 3:45. That's pretty darn good, Beat.
Yeah, that it is. And we're going to see just a replay here of Juicering and Ricardo. Really the one I want to highlight here. The reason Niagara University didn't have to use so many of their ultimates, and especially towards the end, be able to stack them for the finish, is because Ricardo, he ends up getting so many key picks. Every time DC especially is out of the mech there on Diva, just gets blown up. Ricardo finds the 2 body shots, occasionally finds the headshot, and always being able to take them out of the game is honestly really huge in this composition where you need both of your tanks to try and give you space, to try and even threaten that backline.
Gonna be a huge part of it. So I think I was kind of like watching a replay there, right? Apex gets up and aggressive, and I think that if St. Peter's were running darn near any other supports or any other DPS at that distance, he probably would have gotten back. But as it is, just all the damage in the world, all the focus, 2 medium range snipers there, the Hanzo, the Ashe, just gonna make short work of any on that one. Looking at St. Peter's in the defense, yeah, pretty different from what we saw from Niagara's defense, right?
True. Especially one, of course, naturally wants to highlight the Torbjorn. Honestly, pretty solid pick on this map. There are a lot of really good positions that Nachos can place the turret, and of course, a lot of poke that he can dish out. Not quite the same as Junkrat, but with Min applying that damage boost onto him and Ricardo, a lot of damage can be done.
Yeah, Niagara does not want to let anybody get damaged on from top this platform here. Makes a lot of sense, especially given they know the value of this, right? They did a lot earlier. Apex, oh no, biting off more than he can chew on this one as we got the shoddy Torbjorn just going off here. Yeah, okay, the last like 3 shots have been the longer range ones, but he just pulled out the shotgun on that, 3 or 4 shots in a row, just gonna end most of Niagara University.
Yeah, that's right, and it's going to end their offense as well. As you can see, St. Peter's have pushed up quite a bit at this point, just trying to offer a lot of poke with that Soldier 76, and Niagara seems like they're not really sure what to do. We've seen a swap come through. Cheese is back on this Genji, and it's going to be really tough for him to find value into St. Peter's composition. As soon as you dive in there, you're going to get blown up. That's why you need Apex and DC to buy you as much space as you can. But in that time frame, Cheese needs to get a kill. If not, they're all just going to get blown up.
Maybe this is the opposite of good, right? It seems like Niagara is almost needing to start pushes from this platform up here. As it is, like you were saying, St. Peter's has so much poke. Now the dive comes in. Now shifting focus from the rest of the supports and DPS up top for Niagara. Apex gets out in time. That's Breadbeard getting everything done there. Rez finish, and this is the best shot Niagara's had so far. Just like that, St. Peter's out here killing dreams.
And the Molten Core, such a powerful ultimate here. Australia is actually trying her best to keep the things alive here on this offense, but unfortunately, I think that Coalescence was best saved for the next fight. You got a lot out of St. Peter's as a result, tacked by Molten Core, even the Valkyrie. So you could have gone into that fight with the Coalescence. The fact that Velvet also has a sound barrier. It's still a potential avenue here for Niagara to make things happen. As soon as Cheese gets that Dragon Blade, that's when I expected sound barrier, but they're committing it right now.
Wow, okay, so a little bit yeah, I gotta point this out, right? Velvet Demise drops this. As soon as Rez's Shatter lands over here, literally there's Ditzels left. There's individual pixels of blue shield left on individual members of Niagara. I'm not trying to be too critical here, but that was a missed time both all day.
I completely agree with you there. If Velvet uses that just maybe 2 to 3 seconds later, they would get a lot more value out of that decaying shields because simply it decays. So you need to get every second out of it that you can.
Very
Unfortunately,
quickly, yeah.
Dragon Blade doesn't find anything either. All they really have to work with here is Redbeard's ultimate and potentially that Primal Rage as well in the next few seconds here. 1 minute left on the clock. St. Peter's look like they have this in the bag. I think Niagara only has one good fight left. And oh, they lost Cheese.
Already, the Vortex Rockets coming out there, getting some really long-range damage, and then Redbeard does what he can. 45 seconds, I would say Niagara just backs up. Use the Lucio speed boost to get out of dodge while the getting is good.
Oh no, but the Graviton Surge has been committed. They can't even walk it out. Tug and Juicering, even though not as juiced up as Zarya can be, dishes out enough damage to take DC out of the mech. This is big.
Talk about tracking there, knowing what targets you need to go after. DC on the Diva can block out all means any other damage. Excuse me, with that defense matrix, and do it with lasers. Juice Ring. Rest of St. Peter's doing a very good job. 3 ultimates on board, close to nano boost. Niagara will be back in the soon.
Yeah, that's right. With 9 seconds left, a couple of ultimates to play with. Maybe they have a shot, but Apex is the one who needs to get onto the point first. But with 3 seconds, he is going to get there just in time. So overtime is coming through. But can the rest of the team get there? Can he survive? Earth Shatter comes through.
Solo Shatter, self-destruct over the top. DC now back with his. Now that is a much better sound barrier. That's better. Ricardo coming through, getting 1. No more turret for this one is the Coalescence, the Torpedo into Molten Core finding some. Redbeard coming up. Yes, that's 3 now, and that is all you need. All you need in this life of sin is a good Blossom.
That's right, Tug. And Niagara University managed to get it done. Despite all the stalling Min is trying to pull, it is not going to suffice. Niagara University, from the brink of defeat, managed to keep themselves in this just a little bit longer. And the best part is they're going to get a pick on Ricardo as well. And I agree, not the smartest of decisions. I think Niagara University, especially in those last few minutes, or St. Peter's rather, are getting a little overconfident with how they're playing things. And the fact that they don't have ults right now could work really well in Niagara's favor, because Cheese does have a Dragon Blade. You have Apex, who's now on the Wrecking Ball, who can buy you a lot more space as long as all that CCs land. So I want to see them make a play once he respawns, but instead he swapped to Orisa. Oh my god.
I was amazed if Apex stays on the ball, right? Like that was literally just a, hey, we need to get up there and touch. It works, and that's awesome. This literally might be what Niagara University needs right now to kind of rattle St. Peter's. Coming back though, Arisa's now with the Fortify, not going to take too much for the time being. Rez using that one, the Shatter down, no shields to block that out, and that's going to be, well, actually, so another ultimate kind of invested there, so they win the team fight, use Nacho's Molten Core.
Yeah, but Cheese tried to salvage that play with the Dragon Blade as well, which is not ideal. With such a small time bank, 1:30 seconds left, just about. Niagara need all that they can muster, especially with big ults like the Earth Shatter and Molten Core down. St. Peter's, they still got things to work with though, and Brad, loses his life a little forward.
Yeah, just a little bit of coordination sets that difference from Red coming in, loot falling out, and getting alive and getting a lot of value from it. A lot up top here. Aristoli getting everything done. Now the sound barrier coming through. No push afterwards, though, unfortunately. Redbeard still on the side, being annoying. That's exactly what this Reaper needs to do. Facing down the barrel of a grab. Ricardo's aimbot, that tack visor. But Rez almost getting taken out for his aggression on this one. Now forced to come back. This is St. Peter's University. He knows what to do. Oh, man, the stun coming out from the Shatter actually. So yeah, I mean trades an ultimate for an ultimate. I can guarantee you Bread's gonna get that Death Blossom faster than the Shatter though.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's tough though. Juicing his bread, still has the Graviton Surge. DC needs to eat this one, Tug. It's their last chance here for Niagara University.
Big pick against Ricardo. Huge source of damage as well as Nacho's Torb turret on this one. Coming back, St. Peter's looking decently cool, calm, and collected. Supercharger done. Everybody's on point, so that's decent so far. Bread reared falls to the purple again. No Reaper, Shadow Step for this to take that out. Now that's the grab. Might be it. Coalescence out, but that's not going to be enough to face against the onslaught of St. Peter's University's DPS core. Full team kill. No, we're not going to get the bell, but basically out there, Niagara University with a solid little second half push on this one, but ultimately for naught.
And unfortunate, St. Peter's are, with another victory, going to put themselves at match point here in this first to 3. It feels like they just have Niagara University's number. They have matched them at every turn and done even better, especially with Nachos on this Torbjorn pick. I don't think you see it as often anymore, but on defense, it's still quite the powerhouse pick, and this is exactly why. And now as we're going to map 3, I got to wonder what it's going to take for Niagara University to actually bring this thing back.
Yeah, it's rock and a hard place situation for Niagara. Map 1 on the Busan was a little bit different. Blizzard World was what was very straight inspirational there towards the end. The picks they would get on individual roles, individual tanks, DPS, and supports were setting up these team fights that they could have easily won, just as easily won than lost. And then it started changing, right? Like the momentum started changing. They started winning more. They started pushing payload, but really just came down to time there at the end. Last game for Niagara University, St. Peter's University, going to be starting here in just a couple minutes. We're going to give these teams a little bit of time to figure out what they want to do, what they want to recreate, and we'll be back with you guys in just a minute. And we are back. I told you it wouldn't be super long. FBI Tugboat here,
Yeah.
joined with my man Beatdown Boulevard. Juke over there producing away, making our jobs as casters just so much easier, and we do appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about these two teams, but first, give me the scores from maps 1 and 2, Beat.
Well, we're going to start things off with the fact that St. Peter's won map 1 Busan so convincingly 2-0. And if you're just joining us, and of course, map 2 wasn't much better 3-1 on Blizzard World once again for St. Peter's, who are now at match point and feel like they've just been in complete control the entire time here. And it feels like we've seen some flashes of brilliance here from Niagara, some opportunities for them to actually contend, but in those big moments, it ends up falling just a little bit short, mostly due to a bit of alt mismanagement and sometimes some compositional errors. And as we go into map
That's
3,
fair.
yeah, hopefully they can change things up a little bit here on this potentially final map because this is their last chance.
Yeah, first to 3, St. Peter's takes this, it will be over with. Now,
That's right.
I'm trying to think. I mean, yes, there was a Velvet sound barrier that was kind of mistimed.
Yeah.
Compositionally wise, that's fair. Niagara University seems like they kind of got it together, but I think the only thing really standing between Niagara University and St. Peter's University being a very even matchup is Niagara just kind of cleaning up those edges a little bit, right? Coordination, communication, old management, old track, and things like this.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Tug. So as we go into the last map here, it's not quite over yet. Hanamura definitely could get off to a good start with a solid double cap here, and since St. Peter's are on the offense, Niagara University could actually start off with a pretty solid defense here as they're starting off on point A. I like it. Redbeard is going for that Symmetra pick, but I like it even more. Nachos is back on this Echo, which we saw so much good work from before.
Yeah. What? If you don't have time to make a mirror composition with your opponents, just pick up an Echo. You'll get halfway there, right? Big Purple, DC falling and now getting super aggressive against Cheese. Only has that deflect, not going to do anything against your beam type focuses. Redbeard finding a couple on this one, swapping around momentum, but that was huge against Velvet, not being able to get out on that one. Min now getting over to her to her DPS, excuse me, and for right now at least getting out of the way of damage, right?
It's going to be tough though. Niagara University's team aren't going to be here for just a little bit longer here, so St. Peter's do want to use their spawn advantage to push up. Ricardo's been rezzed. Here they go.
There you go, full 6-on-6, but not for long. Rez, Ricardo, Cheese, both down. Celit Squad as well, so big source of healing out the side of St. Peter's University. Now G-String as well, and this is Niagara University squad that is playing like just completely different, night and day different.
And there it is, and I think Redbeard very confident and comfortable, clearly on the Symmetra, finding a lot of crucial picks, keeping Niagara in the game for quite a bit of time. They've already shaved almost half the time bank off here, so Redbeard needs to keep doing what he's doing, and now you can see Niagara still have some ults to work with. St. Peter's are looking pretty good as well. I'm very curious to see who Nachos copies. Oh, they want a wall of their own, but the shatter!
Nachos comes down, Nachos goes out very quickly. Echo ultimate wasted on that one after some really good coordination, but that's not gonna matter. Recorder getting up close and personal. Shatter lands, and that is a huge hole, high noon, excuse me. The attempted Genji ult in front of him, not gonna happen. If Cheese had that deflect, we'd be looking at a different game right now, but as a theory crafting at its worst, I suppose, at this point.
That's true. I think the problem, too, is that Apex getting caught out there. When Niagara still had a very clear advantage, he might have gotten charged by Rez. If so, props to him. But either way, that's going to be a pretty decently fast first cap for St. Peter's. Niagara definitely made him work for it, though. And now as we move over to this site, you can see Nachos is just poking away, trying to avoid all the damage that he can. But oh my god, can't avoid Cheese.
Nah, Min now getting that resin, starting that resurrection cooldown. Now hanging out outside, very smart for a Mercy to do. Still getting the healing and the damage in, not able to be hit on the other side. Dynamite up, Dynamite out. Dynamite not going to find anything quite so far. Now St. Peter's trying to roll in from the up top here. A different, a two-fronted war, you could say, from the side of St. Peter's as Ricardo finding a nice headshot against a huge source of damage. And now the grab out, lots in there. Dynamite's going to find one against St. Peter's, but that is their only loss so far. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Nacho's deleted as well. This one's not totally finished. Arista Lee still there with the Symmetra wall out. That'll provide them a little bit, but nothing against the melee swings of your Rez Reinhardt. Still contesting this one out. Niagara University is going to be back whole-handedly soon. Not one, but two Zarya bubbles blocks out the vast majority of that Zarya, or that Shatter, excuse me. High Noon over here, but they have their Reinhardt back now. Some nice roll and tumble. Get 6 shots out of the cylinders there, and now that's going to be up to about 60%. At least second one. I think we'll probably need to see a ball if they want to get out to this. Not going to matter. Velvet Demise cannot touch.
Yeah, and there it is. As soon as as fast as they capped first point, they do cap second. 3 minutes is definitely a solid time bank to be happy about. Niagara University, again, really close on a lot of these fights, but what ends up happening is Symmetra, or the Symmetra ult isn't quite as good as that High Noon in this scenario, but we're going to look at this replay. Ricardo gets a huge play with that Earthshatter assisted Deadeye there, and you talked about it too, how the Dragon Blade could have made the difference there, but unfortunately Cheese didn't have the deflect.
It looks like he was like starting the ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Like in that animation, yeah, so it
exactly.
can't deflect. Yeah, so what, the difference of a quarter of a second, man? Like
maybe
a half a second?
Could have been a different play, like you said. But fortunately, it's an alternate timeline for another time, I suppose, as Niagara University now have to come back on this offense here, and they are hovering Redbeard on that far. I gotta say, I'm a big fan personally, but I like what St. Peter's is bringing out a little bit more. I like this May on the defense. I like the potential of walling off the choke there, and it's honestly a really common strat here on Hanamura, especially because Niagara aren't going to know right away, and that first pick is already going to buy them so much time. So if somehow Niagara can actually avoid that first May wall, play around it, they have a decent shot at capturing the first point.
I like the May. May .1 Hanamura, classic pick.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if you're willing to like dedicate everything into it, like basically like curl at a point without breathing, not making any noise, wall it off and then switch. So it's like they're operating off a different game plan. But that is a big investment in of itself, especially for .1. 15 seconds in, Niagara University trying to find a way in edgewise. Nothing so far. As Aristoteles falls, that's the majority of their healing. Niagara just needs to come back here, especially with no shield tank. No real shield tank. They have a bubble, excuse me.
And this time it's Nacho's the one flexing the Hanzo here, doing so much work for St. Peter's. And look at that, they're pushing up, and they're just finding more and more damage here onto Niagara University. They got it back all the way up as they make another attempt here. Ricardo didn't quite find the wall he was looking for, but he's getting up there in terms of ult percentage onto that Blizzard, and it's going to be the ult game, I think, for Niagara, especially because they keep losing people in this poke here. But one thing I'm really worried about is Cheese on this Genji into a Mei Hanzo is not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Cheese definitely has a predisposition for certain heroes. Even the Ashe might be the name of the game there, because Fleck can only go so far. DC actually not able to find the corner on this one. Dragon's finding one and a lot of damage on more. Niagara now looks like they're coming back. She's trying to get in some damage edgewise. Arista Lee just trying to get to the last of their coalescence. Now has that, but Redbeard paid the price, paid the ultimate price for that one.
And more time is being shaved off the clock here. Niagara are running out of chances. They have one ultimate to work with. Soon it's going to be two, as the sound barrier is good to go here. But Niagara University, they need to start some fights off the right foot here. Ricardo with the Blizzard is very likely going to make this next fight moot, unless Niagara can get around it here. But here it comes. Might be a wall into the ult. Big shatter.
Big shatter indeed. Comes out. Players were not necessarily where they could have had that May wall out. That's the sound barrier down. The only person who fell so far is Cheese. Juicering res both down. The tank core for the side of St. Peter's falling, but Juicering's back already. No shield take for him though. This might be really deciding factors. Nachos falls. Nice freeze by Ricardo. Getting headshots and more. A lot of pressure on here. Grab out. Juicering has that one there. Salad Squad down. Velvet as well. Lots of supports falling on this one, as this is St. Peter's all over this first point.
Yeah, Niagara University now only have about a minute 25 for their attack. At this point, Cheese just needs to jump off, go for that reset, because I think they have one good fight left here. And it's going to be their best shot because St. Peter's only have that Dragon Strike ready to go. Cheese, you picked the Genji. It was all for this. That Dragon Blade better be huge or Niagara are going to lose the series.
So yeah, it really does come down to that a lot. Breadbeard can get the damage in, but Shatter first. Maywall out to make sure that does not matter. Apex falling in this one, no shield to assist their next little push here. And then, oh no. He pulls his blade in front of a May with a full endothermic blaster, I think it's called.
Yes.
Full ammo on it. Yeah, that's going to result in a freezing shot every single time.
Yeah, and there you have it. The result is clear. Breadbeard actually made it out. Good lord, the great escape. But
okay, so
doesn't really matter now. It's again Cheese, the big ultimate, the big reason why we saw the Genji fell flat, and now the last second Reaper swap is going to have to do something. Oh my god, he just gets dinked by Nachos. What can he hit?
Gotta respect these St. Peter's University snipers out there, and then as they come up, Rez comes out, but Apex follows throughout this. Breadbeard now with a big flank, looking on damage for one, looking on damage for two, but doesn't finish either of them. Just like that, majority of St. Peter's University players have found themselves a pick on this one. Grab out at the end, DC trying to make sure that he at least gets these out, but not going to matter. St. Peter's University take a handed 3-0 over Niagara University, ending out here on Hanamura.
And Niagara University seems like they couldn't get a lot of these fights on the wrong foot, and I think we saw time and time again examples of just poor ultimate usage. Really, a couple sound barriers come to mind. Of course, that Dragon Blade 1v1 with Cheese versus a Mei with what I think was 50 HP. These aren't ideal situations to use such powerful abilities, especially with the change nowadays where they don't come up as often as they used to. So you don't get to spam them like the old days. So as a result of a lot of that Niagara, end up going down 0-3. Really unfortunate. St. Peter's just outclassed in every way.
Yeah, that's really fair. You look across these roles and see what individuals did, and yeah, it adds up to St. Peter's. Tanks, DPSs, and supports all just really excelling at the role a little bit better. Niagara University, I said it before, and I will reiterate this. The only thing standing between them and this being a very, very even matchup is Niagara coming through and just working on a bunch of little individual things. But we're going to go to a very short break, and then we got Isaiah here for a little interview action from St. Peter's. We'll be back here in 60 seconds. And we are back. Little interview action here with Isaiah, that's sharpshooter, or Rez, as you saw him playing for the St. Peter's University squad. I'm FBI Tugboat, and here with Beatdown. Got a couple questions coming right at Isaiah first. Isaiah, you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Glad to hear it. Beatdown, you with me?
Yes, I am.
There you go. First question, Beat, please.
Yeah, so I guess the main thing I wanted to know, first and foremost, Rez, how'd you guys feel going into this matchup? Did you guys do anything specific? Did you prep for Niagara, or did you just play your standard compositions, your standard game plans?
Yeah, we made sure that we tried different things in practice. The weeks leading up to this match, we wanted to do dive, run Ryan Zarya and run a few different tank combinations, and then it was just seeing what map we got for the week, the map pool, and seeing what heroes would be best to play for that certain map.
I'm with it.
Yeah,
with it.
makes sense.
So, my question here, if I remember right, you played the Ryan and the Diva, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Gotcha. So just real simple. Which your favorite of those two? Which you prefer playing and why?
I think it's the Ryan. I get to be a little aggressive. My the healers give me good enough heals so I can be aggressive and try to make some plays and protect the team when necessary. And it's just a overall fun character to play.
I think it speaks to the state of Overwatch to be asked the question, you like Ryan or Diva, and then you say you like Ryan because of the aggression, right? Diva that was invented as
Yeah.
this dive tank, and that's
Yeah.
the state of Overwatch these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to be fair, Diva was always that
Oh.
kind of hero that, yeah, she could be aggressive, but also was really focused on peel. I think
Mhm.
Ryan is just like, of course, you do have to defend your team in a sense, but there's always been a focus on the Ryan v Ryan mind
That
games,
charge,
and I
yep.
feel like a lot of charge you, get your shield timing. So as soon as you land the first shatter, because you get their shield timing, you're in his head, you win.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely takes a lot of there's like a practice game you could do in one of the private Overwatch rooms where you could just do 1v1 Ryan battles, and that helps with your timing for shatters and when to pin and all that stuff.
Whoever said that there was no 1v1s in Overwatch.
Yeah, seriously.
Beat, any other questions?
I guess the last thing I want to know from you, Rez, is are there any other teams you're really concerned with here at EGF? Is there anybody you got your eye on?
We definitely have a lot of good competition in EGF this year. We have last year in the tournament we lost to Maris in the final, and we definitely want to play Maris and Quinnipiac. We played them this year. We lost to them, but we definitely have some good games ahead of us, and we definitely want to show out for the competition.
I'm with it.
Cool.
I'm with it. Now, what I want to ask is, were there any compositions you were able to, or that you weren't able to use out today that you guys are working on? You don't have to tell me what they are now, but was there anything basically in store here, excuse me, for St. Peter's that we didn't get to see tonight?
Yeah, we're working out different compositions. I mean, the good thing about the meta now in Overwatch is that a lot of players are definitely viable. But it's like the tank, I mean, most of the tank pool is definitely viable. So we're definitely trying to, get ball in there and, different heroes to try to throw off the competition a little bit.
There you go. I'm with it. FBI Tugboat here with Beatdown Boulevard, and we got Isaiah, that sharpshooter, in from St. Peter's University, to give us a minute of his time after those games. We do appreciate that, Isaiah.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yes, sir. Now, Beat, we got, what was it next? I had it up here a second ago.
Oh, no. Yeah.
The game-wise, RIT and Delaware. Gotcha. The University of Delaware and RIT, the voice coming in from the void to come in and help me out. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Tug taps his ear.
All right, I'm watching here. I'm not looking at the text. All right. We want to appreciate you guys for watching. This is the EGFC, the collegiate side of the Electronic Gaming Federation. I'm FBI Tugboat. That's Beatdown Boulevard. You can check us out on our Twitters over there. Nope, other side. Over there. And we'll see you guys, for Overwatch next Thursday, right, Beatdown?
That's right.
There you go. More Overwatch continues on here today, but me and B will be on next week. That's what I was trying to say. There's plenty more here today. So stay tuned. They'll be with you in just a couple minutes.